Hello, ladies and gentlemen. The first round of the HNL has begun and it ended. Some controversy, but we'll get to it because Richard, today, we're filming this on a Wednesday. Big news. Mierez, who we talked about last episode, that if he stays, he's going to be a big part of that Osijek squad. Yeah, he's leaving.
Yeah, to the UAE.
Yeah, for
That's,
3 million.
I mean, that's a waste,
Yeah.
isn't it? I mean, quite aside from, I think it's last year of contract. You're never going to get that.
Yeah, you're never more. You can't get
money.
more.
That's neither here nor there. I mean, it's disappointing that you can't get him more for him, but that he's going to a nothing league.
Yeah.
Take the money while you can, but
I mean, yeah, he's obviously going for the money. Fair play to him, but still, come on, like you can do better.
Yeah, definitely.
He has the quality, and I'm just sad that I saw first it was that he's going to Saudi, and I'm like, why? But UAE is nothing better; it's the same thing. So, yeah, he's going to Al Jazeera for 3.5 million, and he's forcing a move because he's not training.
Well, yeah, because he's going to get a lot of money.
Yeah,
you don't want to get injured, and I mean, obviously you say it's sort of not that different to Saudi. I mean, it's not that different in terms of the money that's available, but I mean, the standard of league,
the standard of league is
yeah. I mean, so we know Saudi isn't great. Yeah, UAE is worse. I'm just looking at their squad now. I mean,
who do they even have?
There is one name I recognize.
Let me see.
Niskans Cabano, who used to play for Fulham.
Oh.
That's it for people who... and Mohamed El Neni.
No. Oh, yeah, look at him. Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, right at the bottom, hence why I missed him.
Oh, Fernando. Is this the Fernando that played for Sevilla? No, it's not. It's the one that played for Spartak Moscow. Okay. There's a lot of Fernandos.
Yeah, there are. Karim Rekic had time. Yeah. He had
there he is. Yeah. Yeah, he was. Yeah. But yeah, sad stuff.
Oh, what?
sad stuff for Osijek, and I am officially retracting my predictions, and I'm putting them fourth.
Yeah, fair. I mean, I think there might be other reasons for that, which we'll get onto in a bit. Not at the front, at the back, but yeah. I mean, I think you at least, if you were Osijek, you were hoping you could keep him through the next European tie and the European tie
that's. If I was Osijek, especially the fans, I would be the most pissed about now because the draw has opened up. It's not easy, but it's the easiest hard. You could. No, yeah, it's not hard, but it's in their group they had who did they have? They had Heidenheim and Lens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And every other leg except Omonia and Fehervar, everything was nothing. You didn't have a chance against any of the other teams. That was the only tie that you could draw, and they did get it. So now the path is open. If you don't get it now, you're not gonna probably ever get it because
again we'll touch on the draw in a bit. It's very similar to Rijeka in that regard. You know, you've got you game against the third round to go, but after then, the playoff game you're getting is the best you're going to get.
Yeah,
this is your opportunity, and I mean, we'll see that they'll need to work very quickly. Now,
I don't think they'll get a replacement. You can't really replace Mierez.
No, but you can try.
But you can try to rebuild them in the aggregate.
Yeah, and Matt. Okay, yeah. So we'll touch on it again. Matkovic looked good on Sunday, which is silver lining, I suppose.
Yeah, it's going to be between him and then Ademi for now until if they don't bring anybody in. So it's going to be, I think Matkovic will start. Ademi is still, adapting, but so and that's going to open more chances for Bukvic, Omerovic, especially now after Guedes got injured, and it looks like it's a pretty bad injury. So Omerovic will definitely play wherever, probably right back. But Mieres isn't the only one forcing a move out by night training. It's also Jorge Obregon from Rijeka.
Yes. Well, he's been
He
replaced,
was
to be fair, already.
yeah already. So he was he didn't train and he didn't want to play. So he was supposed to play against Lokomotiva this weekend, but obviously didn't train before the game, and Sopic obviously isn't gonna take that. So Ivanovic started and had a pretty good game, but we'll get to that.
Mhm.
And Rijeka basically told Obregon to, you can't play until we bring in a replacement. You can go, sorry, until we bring in a replacement. And they have in Komnen Andrić. Familiar
Yeah.
name,
Yeah.
very
And he's
familiar.
not really scored since leaving Croatia last time, I think it's
Yeah,
fair to say.
yeah.
But
It's not looking good for him, and well, it wasn't looking
Mhm.
good for him in
Yeah,
France with Caen, right?
Clement. Clement.
Yeah,
But
Clement.
I mean, you're replacing one striker who doesn't score with another striker who doesn't score, so where's the loss?
Yeah, but at least Andrić is proven at this level.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what else? I mean, no other transfers really to talk about. Am I mistaken or?
Cordoba is in to sign at the minute, isn't he? I saw something just before coming on where he has landed.
Oh yeah, Cordoba is. Oh yeah, and also to get back on Osijek to just drill more into their sadness today. Marin Prekodravac, obviously last season played a lot of minutes, has mutually terminated his contract with the club and joined Šibenik. Which, how do you do that to probably one of your best talents from the academy who played a large part? Well, played was in the rotation last season.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, but I mean, obviously, this is a different Osijek, isn't it? And
Yeah,
if he wasn't in the plan, it is the best thing for both sides to do. I think they're always going to get payments on if he does do very well, not as a sell-on, but as solidarity payments. So
yeah,
that's not too bad. And it's more
but
important
it
for
won't
him as a
be.
player to play.
Yeah, but it won't be too much for him. I'm
No.
just, I'm just surprised they let him go for nothing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it might not be nothing.
Well, maybe if they have an agreement, but yeah. Well, I mean, what else? Prekodravac, that. Yeah, I mean, we've covered everything. Should we? What do you want to do first? The round or the draws?
We'll do the draws because we mentioned Rijeka and Osijek there.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll start with. We'll go Conference League first.
Oh, okay.
In order of importance, I think. Seeing as we're on Osijek, we'll start off with the Premier competition. The Thursday.
The best one.
The best one, yeah.
The best one.
The highlight of everyone's Thursdays, the Conference League.
What about the Europa League?
They've been doing a lot of their qualifiers on a Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday.
I'm falling out with it.
Yesterday on a Tuesday you had Noah versus Ike for the Conference League. So
exactly. What's going on, UEFA? There does seem to be quite a lot of that this time around in terms of them just shifting things to different days.
Yeah.
Which is quite disorienting if you're sort of half paying attention to about 5 games, which is how I tend to operate. So obviously, as we know, everyone got through, right? So we're Hajduk, Ruzomberok, however you do that, the accent.
I think it's Ruzomberok.
Ruzomberok. Got it completely wrong. And in the third qualifying round, and Osijek versus Mierez, with the reverse E.
And Rijeka versus Elfsborg and
Rijeka Elfsborg in the Europa League, yes. In terms of the draw, and this is where it gets confusing because I haven't got the exact names right in front of me. I have to go of the winner of match, whatever. In Hajduk will, as we sort of know, probably be facing AEK or Noah.
Yeah,
who obviously won yesterday.
3-1.
3-1, courtesy of the goalkeeper scoring. More of that, please.
Yeah, especially in the second leg, if you can, again.
Yeah. If Rijeka end up in the Europa League, they get Olympia or Sheriff.
Yep, very good draw.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you say that Olympia are having one of their decent periods. I don't think
Well,
Sheriff. Well, we should maybe have had this one in the news section. Sheriff's new manager is Garoglan.
oh yeah, Maestro Coroglan, yeah.
So it will be Olympia
Well,
getting through.
well, actually, when he starts at the club, he's pretty good, especially with actually not at Istra, but I mean, 2 times at Hajduk was pretty good at the start.
Yeah.
So it's a 50-50.
Yeah, it's as nice a draw as I think Rijeka would want, really, because they
Yeah.
are ultimately two sides they're better than.
Yeah.
And for Osijek is, as you said, Ammonia or Malfervar,
Yeah.
which is, I mean, I suppose I think for any side, if you're coming into an unseeded game, you're going to get an awkward one. But
Yeah.
I think really for everyone, their draws probably came out about as well as they were going to. I think
Except Hajduk.
Who else was in Hajduk's potential?
Hajduk could have
Betis.
So it was Betis, Silkeborg Ghent,
Yeah,
and Petah Tikva Cluj.
So really, it's probably the second best draw.
I think third. I think Silkeborg Ghent is the second best. I mean, yeah, I rate. Obviously, we saw them last season against Dinamo, so I do not want to face them.
No, of course. But I mean, Ghent decent as well. So
yeah.
I think everyone's got a chance. Is the important thing,
especially now especially if Noah does get through Ike. If that happens, then Hajduk. If they don't get, if we don't get into Europe, I just. Yeah, I almost said bankrupt the club, but please don't. Like, what am I gonna do?
Well, I mean, and they've got. I mean, if it is Noah, they've got some not bad players. You know, obviously Kantarevich, who scores from 90 yards, but Hambar Jamien is decent, as decent a domestic talent as you're going to get playing in that league as well. Shinari isn't bad, so they're not terrible, but I mean, again, like you say, you would expect Hajduk to be getting past them, which is why you really don't want Ike. For Osijek, I mean, also, I know you're quite low on their chances of getting past Shira, Mojire, how we meant to pronounce it.
Yeah,
which I think probably we're more after what we've mentioned at the start in terms of who's going.
Yeah, especially now.
Yeah, but they're not that great. They're not that great. I mean, they lost to Sheriff in the Europa League.
Yep.
So, if we're drawing form lines there, I think that's in Osijek's favour. And looking at their squad, there's not anyone really who I know who they are. I think it's fair to say that's a start. Got one Georgian international in Papanashvili, but I don't really know.
I mean,
who any of them are. It's random Brazilians, which is what you tend to see quite a bit in Azerbaijan, and you sort of have no idea as to whether they're actually any good or whether they're just there because they have oil money.
Yeah, I mean, if Mierez doesn't play tomorrow, it's going to be very hard for us because that's a whole nother plan you need to have. Because Mierez is essentially everything in the attack. Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll see how. I think we'll talk about how Osijek performed against Šibenik. But I mean, obviously, they were very, very easy against Levadia. Levadia were very, very bad.
They helped them a lot.
Yeah, we don't really know where Osijek are. I think is probably in terms of their quality at the moment. So mentioned Osijek and mentioned Rijeka's potential in the Conference League, but obviously they can get into the Europa League.
Where if they beat Augsburg, they will play Molde or Cercle Bruges.
Which is someone was arguing with me about this that it wasn't, but this was the best draw they could have got in
Yeah.
terms of who they could have potentially been up against.
Yeah,
This
best
is the
draw.
best of who they could have got.
Essentially, everybody got a good draw except Hajduk.
Yes, and even then, that might actually turn out for the best.
Yeah, even if actually Noah beats them, Hajduk got the easiest draw on paper.
Yeah. So I mean, I think which match are they in the? Just trying to remember who were the other sides they could have drawn against. So much.
Rijeka in the Europa League.
Yeah.
Braga or Servet, Mold.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Mold or Circle Bears, which they got. Victoria Pilsen or Krivibash Krivi Rich.
Yeah.
And Midtjylland Ferencváros. So yeah.
So you don't want any of those.
No.
Midtjylland and Ferencváros are regulars in group stages. And
yeah.
Decent. Pilsen are always in a group stage and always decent.
And we
saw them
Dynamo
last season as well.
Yeah, and beat Dynamo last season.
Yeah. So this was the ideal draw for them, but there's no such thing really as an ideal draw, is there? But they need to be getting past Elfsborg. I think that's.
They just need to do that, and if you do that, you have Europe. No questions about it. So I think that's the only aim for the club now.
Yeah, and before Elfsborg, I mentioned it, I don't fancy them. They're mid-table. The 7th in the Allsvenskan. Their form has, I think, gotten a bit better lately. But obviously they lost their manager, who's now at Aberdeen, Thelin. And yeah, again, I don't think they have any real familiar names. I think it's fair to say. It was very much Tellin's success was, it had built up over a couple of years, and it was keeping a squad together. In terms of who people would know, I think there's only really maybe Abazanelli, who's jumping out there, which is just because, every Swedish club has to have a Kosovan or an Albanian person in it. And to be fair, Zanelli is a pretty decent one when he's fit. But I think this Rijeka, they're not going to get a better chance at getting to the Europa League.
Yeah, no, they have a very good chance. But I mean, just beat Elfsborg, everybody's happy.
Yeah, I think for the coefficient, because
we've
got to think about the coefficient. Maybe the Conference League will be better for them in that regard. Just because you should be facing slightly easier sides.
Yeah, because the same about Dynamo going into the Europa League. Actually, speaking of Dynamo, we haven't mentioned their draw, which is Karabag or Ludogorets.
And it's probably Ludogorets, isn't it? They've played the first leg, haven't they? And
I think they played yesterday. Yeah, they did. I just forgot the result.
Yeah, Ludogorets won.
Yeah, 2-1.
So probably it's going to be Ludogorets, because winning the away leg, you would expect them to get through it. Again, it's one of those draws which you should be getting at the playoff stage, where it's two sides who are fairly regularly in group stages, be that Champions League or Europa League. For the last year, it was Conference League for Ludogorets and
Dynamo.
And Dynamo. And Ludogorets knocked out in the first knockout round before the proper knockout round.
The playoff. Yeah, the knockout playoff, as they call it.
By Servet, but beat Fenerbahce in the group and did win a leg against Ajax in qualifying as well. So not terrible.
Yeah, not bad.
But Dynamo should be beating them.
Should be.
Yeah. I think, again, there's not loads of players that we're massively familiar with. Sergio Pat, the keeper, I think he's been there a little while now. Used to be was Dutch under 21 and Eredivisie for a while. That's about it, really. For people I recognise, I want to say I've watched Ivan Yudanov before. I think I've scouted him before, but I'm struggling with it. This
I'm
isn't the
struggling.
Bulgarian. This isn't Bulgaria footy, man. So everyone's got a chance. Well, everyone. I think at this point, if Noah win, it should be 3 sides in a group stage.
At least, yeah.
At least Osijek will be the one where we don't know, and we'll talk. We'll go into the league now. I think because
Yeah.
it
So
goes nicely
essentially,
into it.
everybody has got a good draw except Hajduk, but currently it's looking in everybody's favor.
Yeah, it's working
It's
out
fair to
nicely.
say. Yeah. So the HNL obviously started this weekend, and the first game was on Friday, as Istra again, as we mentioned last week, is playing on a Friday, and I mean, Tramezzani tried something different,
And it didn't
and
work.
it blew up in his face for some reason. Irfan Ramic was playing as I think the as the left or right wing back. Which was it? Let me remind myself. It was I think the right wing back, which he didn't play at all in the preseason. So
Yeah,
that's yeah. Tramezzani tried to man mark Dinamo and try to kind of put the pressure on them. Which why?
yeah. I mean, I've sort of hinted at this point, and then I've gone and done a bit of research on it, and I'm going to make this point. This Mikic has a problem,
That too. I mean,
which is
not the best goalkeeping performance.
well. Aside from that, and I noticed it with Hutch's shot that got the corner for Deerfield's goal.
Oh yeah,
And I was just watching it. Had the the angle from behind the goal, and I was just looking at it straight away. How much space Mikic had left on his right hand side. If Hutcher's shot to his near post, it was a goal.
yeah.
And then because you've seen it once, you start looking out for it. RPG's goal. I'm like, okay, wait a minute,
Yeah,
you've not done the right thing with your right side. Kalenovic's goal, you've sort of gone lent back with your right side and leant down a bit, not got your hand to the full extension. And then I went back and looked at last season's goals.
oh my god.
And the
It's the same thing.
last game of the season against Goritza, their opening goal was similar to that Hodger chance that sort of first raised it.
Oh yeah,
On a
yeah.
narrow angle, it's to his right. He's left a bit too much space, and he's not been able to get to it.
Save it, yeah.
And then they've gone on his injury history, and now I don't know which shoulder because I didn't research that much, but he had a broken shoulder and missed quite a lot of time in 21.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if either he's changed his style because it's causing him pain,
Pain,
or
yeah.
there is actually a longer term problem there. Speaking as someone who has a shoulder that doesn't like staying in, I know if you ask me to do something with my left side, quite aside from being right-handed, I'll do the Zoolander and try and do it, swivel around and try and do it with my right side.
Yeah.
Because actually I've not got the full extension, I've not got the full rotation.
Yeah.
If I have to do quite a bit of weight work to have the muscles to compensate for what the like ligament and cartilage, what all that shit that's in there isn't working properly for.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if he's in a similar situation where he's got limited mobility because he's having to work around that injury.
Yeah, around that injury, yeah. I mean, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
If I was opposition analyst coming up this weekend, I'd be shooting at that side, and I'd be trying to say, let's just see. So if you
just make sure.
yeah, exactly. If you are a HNL opposition analyst working for
Gorica.
Gorica, so they already spotted it in the last game of last season.
Yeah, I was gonna say they
Put
already
it to his right, see what he does, because I think he's compensating with his positioning to try and intimidate players to go to his left.
Yeah.
And I think it's because he's not got full mobility with his right.
Yeah, could be.
I should say goalkeeping coaches are very much specialist people, and I am not one of them. And they could probably look at it and say that I'm talking complete nonsense.
Rubbish.
But it does, it's visible that he's favouring something. And it's something for opposition have to have to try and pick up on.
Yeah.
Not that it helped. Not that it was really needed for Dinamo to absolutely
Absolutely
hit them
not.
with ease.
Because Istra's defense, as I said, they tried to man mark and tried to put pressure on Dinamo. Worked for like 15 minutes. I wrote it into my group chat with my friends. Istra's doing really well. Not even 5 seconds later.
Yeah, I mean, I think the basic tactic, which was, I don't want to say park the bus because it's so if you say park the bus, it just suggests you're just going to defend and do nothing else other than that, and it's such a simplistic term. But their basic tactic was to stay compact, and as soon as they got the ball, it was going forward quickly and running.
Yeah.
And like you say, to an extent, it worked because they were able to create a couple of chances on that.
Especially through Fagolaval, who was very fast, but not very clinical.
Yeah, exactly. What they didn't have was the final ball to be able to make those shots in the right position, or they didn't have the run of the ball to be able to get the shot in the right position. We're saying they had chances, but they had 0.1 more next year.
Yeah, they didn't shoot.
Yeah, so that's going to be a problem.
And I also do not understand Lisitsa playing as the second striker.
No.
You have Filet, you have Gagwa if you want to start him on the first match. If he wasn't even on the bench.
No.
You have Filet, you have Yaganyats, you have strikers. So I don't know why you play a winger that's never played striker as a striker.
But it's Dinamo away, so why? If you're going to try something, why not? Probably it's one of those where if they've been a bit more clinical, because I think for the shot was Laval, like you said, was when it was still 1-0. If you peg it back to 1-1, then you're actually well, and the game proceeds differently. But that sort of clinical, that sort of ruthlessness, that's why you're playing for Easter and why you're not playing for Dinamo.
Yeah, Dinamo was ruthless.
They were absolutely.
Every chance they had, just put it away.
Yeah, because the shot was right.
Yeah.
But I mean, even I think the moves weren't, a lot of them weren't too dissimilar to what Easter were doing. They were just better executed.
Yeah. And sorry. And as Ramic was put onto the right wing back, Kadušić was placed as the right center back, which also just didn't work. Obviously didn't work out because Kadušić doesn't even have that much height at him or the strength to face off against Kolena, which he has the pace. That's the only thing he really has to help in defense, and that's he got exploited, to say the least.
Yeah, but it's a free hit for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first match.
Yeah, and not... Yeah, you didn't want to come out of it losing 5-0, obviously.
True, but...
But this... Yeah, if they beat Gorica, they will not care about that particular game.
Yeah.
One bit. And they'll probably just be thinking, well, let's see what Dinamo do when they're on our patch as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you lose 4 games to Dinamo, it's nothing to, be worried about.
Exactly, because 6 or 7 teams will lose 4 games to Dinamo.
Yeah,
if we're honest.
Yeah, let's get on to Dinamo. Let's get on to Dinamo because we've been talking about Istra. Dinamo, absolutely amazing. Piazza, Baturna, just having fun, really.
Yeah, I think obviously Baturna scored, but I think there's one goal where it was moved back from really quickly from through Baturna, and it's like, well, that's just a really good team goal. I like. Sorry, this is just a complete aside. I like on SofaScore. If I'm not watching the game live, if you click the little play button,
the little play button,
it shows
they show you
the actual move.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that when I was at halftime because I opened just to see the ratings, and that is cool. But SofaScore, please, if you're already giving us the XG, the full XG, just give us an XG per every shot.
Yeah. Well,
not hard to do.
Well, no, particularly not when it's divisible by a nice round number as well.
Yeah. But what else? Pet coach obviously got a bit of a hit, so Kulenovic started, and I
Mhm.
mean was amazing. And as soon as Kulenovic plays, that means Baturna has much more space.
Yeah, and like you said, Piazza was very good. That was a key difference that they have someone who they can put on both wings.
Yeah,
He did a lot of his best work on the right, and
got a very good assist.
yeah, it was drawing Easter into places they didn't want to be. It was creating gaps for them that you even think at the end of last season when you have Kaneko out there, wasn't doing that job. He would be sticking wider, whereas Piazza was happy to be running inside a
Yeah,
little bit more and taking on his man and being a little bit more aggressive. It just looked like a very, very confident side.
it did. This side is absolutely amazing. I think for Dinamo because I mean you have everything on every side, especially now with Cordoba. You can have Piazza on the left, Cordoba on the right. You have Hoja as a substitute, which is an amazing substitute to have, which we saw for Albania, especially at the Euros. It's a side that can make. I mean, I think they can be a danger to any side in Europe. Really.
Yeah, and I think you're right to mention Hudson there. It's the directness
Yeah.
that they got as well. One of the things about Hodge in the Euros was that he was just he was going for it. I
Yeah.
was almost always brought on in game states where he didn't have much choice but to go for it. But having that it's difficult to defend against direct players. Even if you are City, even if you're Man City, if you are in that sort of position where it's taking a little bit longer to cycle the ball around, and maybe those passing lanes aren't quite opening up and things are a little bit slower, it's so much easier to defend against. I went and watched City in the Champions League last season against Zvezda, and the first half City were really bad.
Yeah.
Foden was really bad, and then they switched on, brought Doku on, and straight away because
Immediately.
he just wanted
Yeah.
to run at he wanted to run at people, not run
Yeah.
from behind people.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of reasons why both tactics work from an attacking perspective, but I'd always much rather play against a side that's looking for a passing lane rather than a side that's just going to run at me.
Yeah. RPG. Pierre
Yes.
Gabriel. I mean, absolutely amazing. I mean, it's just one game, but he was very good also last season. And I this could be, I mean, not a breakout season, but an amazing season for the guy, especially now that Tristovsky is now really doing that good, doing that well. Is getting
He's
a bit on the older side.
It's taken 6 months to settle, and that's what you want. And I think Christovsky's been linked with moving away as well.
Yeah, to Zvezda,
Yeah.
but I don't think that's true.
No, I don't think. I think
Yeah,
if it was, they'd have done that already.
he might get killed if he does that.
It's not a move many people make. I mean, one guy's made it quite famously before. To be fair,
Yeah, to be fair
um,
to him,
but he had a bit of skill about him.
not a bit, not a. I would say a lot,
Yeah.
and a bit of drinking.
Yes. Exactly.
But yeah, anything else to mention? I mean, we mentioned.
I don't.
I mean,
I don't think there's too much. It was just one side was really good. One side
yeah,
didn't stand a chance because the other side were really good.
yeah. Uh, I'm trying to find something else to talk about. Sucic obviously still at Dinamo. Como
Mhm.
obviously made an offer, which obviously I think the talks are still ongoing. But
Mhm.
I, I, you don't really need to force a move. I think Dinamo is at a much better position than Como, especially now with Europe.
Yeah, if he's still training, he's still there.
Yeah,
I think as we learned today.
if he stops training, it's over.
Yeah.
Should we get to the second game?
Yeah, I think we've sort of gone from a game where there's not lots to talk about in terms of the individual action, to for one reason because one was so dominant, to a game where there's not too much to talk about the individual action because there wasn't much individual action in Goretz
Yeah. The only match on Saturday Varadin dominant. I think we can agree.
Yeah,
And Gorica
yeah,
just saving themselves the entire match.
yeah. I think maybe a little naive tactically in terms of
Yeah,
not killing the game, but
but I think
you
the main problem is you obviously lost Mrzliak. Who else did you lost a lot of players. It's not the same squad, and that
Mhm.
midfield of Pershir, Skirbin, Kapulica, they cannot hold possession.
No, no,
So
and it's still TBD as to how effective they are up front. But Goretz they weren't good, but they were canny.
yeah,
They knew what they were doing. They knew what they needed to get 0-0, and they knew to be able to create a couple of small chances. Nothing really
not
great.
yeah,
I think obviously one of the moves we haven't mentioned is obviously Juric to Brescia,
yeah, for like
and
300, 400k.
yeah, which is a very good deal for Brescia, and is very bad for Goritza. Not just in terms of the sum of money, but also in terms of just how they're stacked up front.
Yeah,
So we talked about it last week in terms of how we felt they were, which was not very good, and now they're worse.
yeah, and they announced the loan signings from Dinamo, which there are a few,
Mm-hmm.
but they were already known, so it's not anything new. But the thing that surprised me was obviously Božidar Radošević in goal instead of Banic. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what happened there because Banic has been the starting goalkeeper in almost every friendly, but obviously something happened in the last week or two to put Radošević in front,
Yeah,
and he had a very good game too. So I mean,
yeah. Well, he had to. I mean, obviously, as per Y Scout, Varazine had more XG than Dinamo,
yeah,
which
I mean
is
they created a lot of chances.
they did, and uh, some very good chances as well, but obviously didn't do anything with them.
Yeah,
And I mean, it's a Varazine where we know, like you mentioned, there's been changes. It's going to take a few games for them to reach fluency. For Goritza, they've not been as many changes, there's been losses, but broadly the actual core of the side is quite similar in a lot of places, and they knew what they were doing. They did just about enough,
yeah.
but if they'd been done 3-0, they wouldn't have been complaining.
No,
Um,
Mitrovsky and Dabra I think are very good. At least looked very good against Gorica. We'll see how they look this weekend. But the defense was also very good for Varadin. The midfield, obviously missing Postoinski. You don't have that playmaker. You don't have that guy that's gonna slowly start up the attack,
mhm.
control the pace. Lusovec maybe does that in a bit, but Marina and Belzer absolutely do not.
No.
So
Yeah, but we're
so
getting
yeah,
the ball. They were getting the ball to Dabro, like you say, getting the ball to Mitrowski, getting the ball to Diego as well. If you do that in most games, you're going to be getting goals,
yeah.
and I think they'll be happy enough to just write this one off as a bit of a not a fluke, but it's a one-off where things didn't quite go right.
Yeah,
There's not too much else for them to blame.
yeah, it happens, and Dabra I think has now slowly settled in, so I think we'll see him slowly, start scoring, and scoring.
Yes, when it came to scoring, there was one side almost as good as Dinamo at Rijeka.
Riek, obviously, absolutely demolished
This is why you let me do the
Lokomotiva.
links. Yeah, I think you'd be quite annoyed to win on the opening weekend 4-0 and not be top of the table. But it's what they needed. I think that's
Yeah,
the one thing we mentioned about last week was the psychological element of what happened at the end of last season. You start off against the Lokomotiva, who, let's be honest, the Lokomotiva were kind of the start of the in their
yeah,
form, and absolutely demolished them. They're not the same Lokomotiva. They came out, first 10 minutes of each half, decent,
yeah, they did, but
but
they had a very good chance. Sushak had a very good chance
yeah,
early on, the
yeah, I
first
think
real
fifth
chance
minute,
of the
yeah.
game. Yeah,
But the more Rijeka got into the game,
Yeah.
the more they absolutely steamrolled them.
And obviously, we haven't mentioned the games from last week. From last week when we were recording, obviously, Osijek
Of course.
won against Levadia. Rijeka got. I mean, we can say got away, right? Because
they got away with it against Kovinul.
Bush missed the penalty. Posavec almost made a fool of himself after making the penalty. And yeah, I mean, Petrovic in the end scored the only goal, and they really needed a game where they scored a lot, because they obviously barely did that and almost got knocked out, but thankfully didn't against Corvinal. So yeah,
and they certainly got that.
They certainly got that. Not Jankovic, sorry, Fruk just I mean, continuing what he's doing. Yeah. Scored a goal, got an assist. Ivanovic obviously wasn't supposed to start, but started, and I mean, had a very good performance.
Yeah,
scored a goal, and Shimon Butic, obviously the youngster, also getting his first professional goal.
Yeah, and I think the other sort of thing with that is the goals Rijeka was scoring were good chances. Yeah, they weren't scoring flukes. Shimon, it was, I've just got the XG up for the shots, 0.49, Hodza, 0.2. They're all decent numbers. They're all what you want to be seeing. They were converting the chances. They were converting the good chances that they were creating.
Yeah.
Now, I think maybe sort of, as indicated, because Lokomotiva came out in each half quite well, I would sort of wonder, maybe not next weekend, but the weekend after, when you've had another two Thursday, Sunday in the legs, whether a side taking a similar approach to Lokomotiva would actually get a bit more out of Rijeka, and maybe Lokomotiva were just a little bit unlucky in terms of when they've faced them. But it's also probably representative of where both sides are at the minute.
Yeah, and I mean, also Lokomotiv obviously going for a big change. I mean, it's you have Mudražje, you have Chop, Goričan, Smakaj, Mersinaj. I mean, Leovac. That's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else is young, or Karasic or Živkovic again on loan. But yeah.
Yeah. Again, sort of, I mean, similarly to history, you just be in like just wipe it from your mind.
Yeah.
And proceed on as if the season starts this week.
Yeah, and you can also see the missing of Mateo Maric in the midfield, which I mean, you need them, especially you have Bazdaric and Smakaj in that midfield, which obviously Bazdaric is not a good replacement for Maric, but he's still young, so we'll see.
Yeah, they needed a bit of composure, but again, Rijeka were very, very, very good, and so we know, and we saw, I think last season, one game against Lokomotiva, Rijeka were just able to completely take them apart on the sides. And I think on that week, it was one where they had a makeshift
no fullbacks.
Yeah, so that was a lot of what contributed to it. But it's clear from whatever analysis they're doing of the sides that they had Lokomotiva really well scouted.
Yeah,
and they had a couple of bits of luck. With the opening goal, obviously, it was kicked against them really, to be able to create the chance. But this was the side that ultimately dealt a very big psychological blow to them last season. The best way to possibly start off the season is to repay that result back with interest, which is exactly what we've done.
Exactly. Anything else to mention? Pasalic was okay. Bogovic very good. I absolutely love him on the left. I mean, nothing else really. I mean, Rijeka also have a very good bench. Obviously, Rukavina coming off, Hodja, Butic, Linkovic, and Joachra. I think every single one of them looked good when they came on.
Yeah, and we'll, I'm sure, see a lot more rotation from them over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, they need it. Everybody needs it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have, let's be honest, you can't have Salahi being a one-man double pivot.
No.
for 90 minutes every 3 days. No. He will eventually stop.
He will eventually die. You might kill the man, Sopic. Please
Yeah.
let him rest. Which match do you want to talk about first? Because
I
both
mean,
of them were
they're both
filled.
eventful.
Yeah,
We'll go with the earlier. Well, they both kicked off at the same time, didn't they? Actually,
yeah, they did.
we'll go with Osijek because it's listed as first on SofaScore, and then we'll go on to Hajduk.
Okay.
So Osijek 1, Sipnik 2.
Yeah.
With Nico Chaplin show in a bad
Again.
way.
Yeah. Again, in the first game against Slovakia, obviously very poor reaction, but it's the first game happens. Thankfully, Osijek, Mierez stepped up and scored 3. You got 2 more goals after that, and but yeah, I mean, what is he doing?
I mean, I think the thing that we identified last season that Chaplin is really, really good at is a really good shot stopper.
Yeah,
Really,
everything
really
else
good.
now.
Everything else is his consistency and his decision making less so. That, I mean, the opening goal. So for those who haven't seen it, it's a hoofed ball over the top.
Yep.
It's a hit and hope, and you got a striker running onto it, Javner coming out.
Chavana is first to the ball.
Yeah, it bounces up to him. I would say it's about shoulder height.
Yeah,
I think, and he goes to kick it rather than heading it.
head it. Yeah,
Yeah, just
or even shoulder it at that point.
I mean,
Anything apart.
He goes to kick it. He makes really bad contact, and that's it presents the chance. It's pretty poor scramble defending from Osijek after that, but he's made the wrong decision there. He just needed to head that and head it very far, and that would have been, there wouldn't have been a chance there at all. Yeah. It's quite hard to justify that decision making. And then, obvious't they are able to get back into it.
After Soldo had a shot, it got deflected. Just, I think, a bit lucky, but it happens. And but after that, immediately after, I mean, again.
Yeah, when your confidence is gone, your confidence is gone, and that's he's flapping. I think it's the ball he had to come for, but he had to make contact with it, and
he didn't,
and it costs him, and that's sort of why when we're talking about the Gira game, it's really quite difficult to know exactly where Osijek are, because obviously they were very good against Lavardia. I think if we were honest, they were pretty good. If you
against Šibenik, I mean, no, they created loads of chances.
Yeah,
Djokovic had an amazing game. You hit the post a few times. Matkovic obviously hit the post with a very, very thunder strike of a shot from the outside. Djokovic made some absolutely amazing saves, especially the one also against Matkovic when Matkovic headed it just under the bar, but Djokovic got to it impressively.
Yeah,
it was just they almost scored, but they didn't.
Yeah, it's quite hard, really, safe Chaffner, to be pointing at too many Osijek players who can look back at that game and say we actually had a bad 90 minutes.
Yeah,
they didn't. They didn't. They were good, and on occasion very good. Like you say, Makovic was, he looks like he's going to justify the hype. This season, for some of his age and experience, to kind of be taking control of the game as he did, with some of the shots outside the box. That's really, really impressive, and you can kind of see why they're more fussed about keeping him than keeping Mierez. If that makes sense, you have to have a Mierez, but Makovic is a player you can make.
Yeah, but then again, Mierez is on the last year of his contract, so if you're gonna earn money, it's now.
Yeah, exactly. Šibenik were all right. I mean, they'd be very happy with taking 3 points.
I mean, Tsarevic said it after the game. If we're gonna beat Osijek, this is the only way.
Yeah, I don't want to say it was a robbery, but it was a robbery. Again, so we talked about Varazin's XG. Osijek's XG was higher than Farastein's XG, which was
Yep.
higher than Dynamo's XG, who won 5-0.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
if you're Copitelli, I don't know what you even say about that match. You just what can you say? It's just annoying.
Yeah, I do hate that the Osijek fans, after the second goal, started booing Chavlinov whenever he got the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, guys, I get it. I think Osijek had very good goalkeepers before Chavlinov came in. You obviously have Malenica and Kolic, who Kolic obviously stepped up after Malenica got injured. And Malenica, before the injury, was, I mean, one of the best goalkeepers in the league.
Yeah. And I think also the manner of being Dynamo's farm club.
Also
you send that sort of player out because you don't perceive this side as a threat.
Yeah.
And I think Osijek, we're not that far detached from them being a season where they were the main challengers to Dynamo.
Yeah.
So it is a bit of a coming back down to earth, really. For Šibenik, there's not, like I say, it's smash and grab, and much like Goritza, had they lost that game 3-0, they couldn't really have had any complaints. But for them, this is just that you're 3 points ahead of Slaven and Goritza now. So 3 points ahead of Slaven, 1 point ahead of 2 points ahead.
Yeah. And it took 25 games for Ruders to win a league game last season, and Šibenik took just one. So I think that's fair to say that Šibenik will not be a Ruders, hopefully, unless they go on a 35 winless streak now.
Bring back the playoff. The second tier clubs absolutely belong.
Yeah. Also, please, I understand Jugovic is one of the biggest players in Osijek's. Well, not one of the biggest, a very good player for Osijek's history. But please, just let it go, lads. He's not on the level.
Yeah, he certainly wasn't in this one. Maybe it's just rustiness, given the benefit of the doubt for one game. But it wasn't promising when sort of everyone else midfield forwards was having a really good game.
Yeah. Jurisic was also very good. Again, Jurisic really coming up as one of the better left backs, if not the best in the league. I mean, what else? Šibenik very good. I mean, they did their job. Božic very good. Morrison obviously scored the goal. The defense did their job.
Yeah.
Santini, obviously we saw Santini, didn't really do much, but he was there.
Yeah, I mean, having that sort of man to ping balls forward to is what created not necessarily created the chance, but when you've got a big person up front and you've got pace in Bozic around him, then you're always going to be able to put some pressure on and try and pick up some scraps, which is exactly what Bozic did. It wasn't an easy finish by any stretch of the imagination. He did have to thread the needle a bit. I think Osijek helped him in that. I think what we mentioned, Javelin not going for the header. I think maybe his effort at the save could have been a bit better as well. He's backtracking and off balance.
It's not
a bit. Yeah, it's not the big error.
Yeah. Djokovic, as we previously mentioned, the man of the match of the game, I think.
Yeah.
Should we get to the spicy game?
The ref show.
The ref show again. My God. So, Hajduk obviously beat Slaven Belupo 2-1. Slaven didn't really do much in the first few minutes. Hajduk was controlling possession, kind of creating some chances, but eventually they got a penalty after Pukstas had a shot which was going on target and was stopped with a hand, and it took 7-8 minutes for it to be called a penalty, even though Lovric was in front of it, literally had the best angle. He had a better angle than the cameras did, and didn't call it.
Well, I'm going to. I'm not going to give him the benefit of the doubt here, but I was watching one of the Scottish opening weekend games, and sorry, it's Hearts Rangers, and there was a not precisely similar, but there was quite a similar incident in that, and player had his arms up, which is this is going to be great for people on Spotify, but kind of like up,
Right.
up about shoulder height, as it sort of in quite a natural running position almost, and it caught his elbow, and VAR checked it, and VAR just gave it all clear. And after it, they said, they've had the directive, which wasn't we want fewer handballs. It was, we wanted there to be a clearer element of it being deliberate with the handball, rather than it's someone close. Oh, it's come off his hand, even though it's right down his side. It's a penalty. That's the sort of thing they don't want to be giving anymore. And I wonder whether that's purely a Scottish interpretation, or whether that's actually a directive that's gone out from UEFA or IFAB or whoever. Because
I mean, it could depend. I think it depends on the leagues, really.
Yeah, because I was going to say, if it's gone out from IFAB, I think in Scotland this season that wouldn't be called a penalty.
The Hajduk penalty.
Yeah,
I for me it's a penalty. Just from what I know, and I hate that Radaric after the match, the Slam manager, compared it to the Cucurella handball in the Euros, which obviously it's not that they didn't give the penalty; it's that it was offside just before that shot.
Yeah,
which Cucurella obviously stopped with his hand. So yeah, a stupid comparison.
Yeah, it is, but I mean, I think that this is the issue we've had over the past couple of seasons, which is we've made a mess of the handball rule.
Yeah, we did. That's 100%. If you gotta look at it for 7 minutes, actually not even look at it. If you have VAR, look at it for 5 minutes, and then tell you, come over. Mm-hmm. And not only that, you gotta obviously. I think the VAR communications didn't work, so he had to get a walkie-talkie.
I think on top of that, I don't think the angles that were presented were that helpful.
No, they weren't.
So there's a bit of guesswork.
Yeah, so Damir Skomina, the referee that's now referee analyst that's analyzing the decisions in the HNL studio show after the round, he obviously said if VAR doesn't have clear and obvious, video of what happened, he should not be calling. The referee needs to make a decision on the field, and then if VAR says, "Hey, we have something you had nothing to see there."
Yeah, exactly.
No camera showed you where his hand was. It could have been out here. It could have been like here or next to his body, right here.
Yes,
like right here.
Yeah,
but you don't know that because we have no cameras on the opposite side on the east stand. So
yeah, I think that's a failing with VAR in general. This is sort of the difference between how it's applied in cricket, how it's applied in football, which obviously appreciate two very different sports. But in cricket, you have the opportunity for the VAR, as it is, to come and just say the referee's call stands, and that's what you need in football. Not that you are, let's just say, come over, have a look at it, and we'll have a chat about it. And we'll take a couple of minutes to talk over and decide what we're going to do. It is the referee is wrong, or there is not enough evidence to overturn the referee's call. And that's it. It should be binary, but it's not.
Yeah, it's not.
No,
I do still think that his hand was out. I do think it's a penalty. I think Lovric should have called it as soon as it happened because I think everybody saw it. Because I do think his hand is out. I think it's a penalty. But so after that, I want to get to the goal. So let's quickly go over. Obviously, Sangyang, Abdulli Sangyang, Bamba, as his nickname is, made a great run. Levi just knocked it on for him, and he just scored a very easy goal. Hajduk was doing pretty well up until then, and then Mufi. Pretty stupid thing to fall on. No, like literally no contact, and you fall.
Yeah,
in your box. And Shakhtar with a very nice finish, which again Kalinic probably should have saved, but
Yeah, I mean, let's say for Sanyang Mamba, whatever he's going to call himself, it's next. I mean, it's an excellent goal. We have used the term messy, but it is messy, because it's sort of coming from that similar position, straight
Yeah,
off the touchline, really direct diagonal run in, that little
yeah,
touch off 1-2 around the corner. You get a little bit of luck with it falling nicely for you to be able to take the shot, but it's a great goal. Like I say, for Jakarta's, it's weak. From Mufi is the best you can say about it, but
yeah.
regardless of that, Kalinic has to be saving that. It's straight. It's
No,
straight between his legs.
it's and again, I don't know why he's starting. I don't think Lucic had any injury or anything. So I mean, and especially after the game. Okay, let's quickly recap the Torshan game on Thursday. Torshan was absolutely amazing against Hajduk. I had loads of chances. Lucic and not Charlie Aremovic saved Hajduk from another embarrassment in Europe.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we saw a bit of that reflected in this game as well. Hajduk obviously they got the result, which is the important thing, but they, we're talking about how impressive Rijeka were. We're talking about how impressive Dinamo were. Even in defeat, Osijek were very
Osijek,
good.
yeah.
In winning, Hajduk were
Meh.
so.
The first half was great. I think the first half for me was great, except for that last minute goal, which comes from a mistake. Okay, it shouldn't have happened, but it happened. But okay, he felt the touch. He thought he can go down. Stupid decision, but it happens.
Yeah.
Second half, nothing, really nothing. The only thing that Haidu had in the second half is the Rakitic free kick, which almost went at Tom Pins.
Yeah.
Sadly, but went on to the other side of the net. But that's pretty much it for the second half, except Perpic scoring an own goal, Lovric not even allowing the ball to go in until making a call that it's a foul.
No.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think we obviously talked about VAR protocol.
Yeah.
Previously, if you are the referee, let that just go in and let VAR sort it out.
Yeah, and see
and
what
VAR would
see
have
what
allowed
happened.
it.
They would have. They would have.
There was nothing there.
It was a bit of shirt pulling, but not enough.
No, not at all.
It is not enough to. If it was enough shirt pulling, Perpic goes down.
And also,
easy to say.
Yeah, and also because he blew the whistle while the ball was in the air, Kalinic pulls out of it as well. So you can't even stand there and say, "Oh well, he'd have saved it anyway." It doesn't matter because he didn't go to save it because he played to the whistle as he should be doing. But that's the point of VAR being there. It's there to support exactly this sort of decision. And if VAR comes out and says, "Okay, it is a foul," then fine. I'm sure Slaven would have been much happier if that was the case.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They prematurely whistled.
Yeah, so I was just embarrassed because every other game was pretty good from the referee standpoint. I think we had no other instances except for this game where we had just an embarrassment of a show again. And I'm thankful for Skominak because he absolutely went into Lovric and the entire referees, the refs of that game, because he didn't let them live it down. He literally said it's like refereeing from the past ages, from 50 decades ago.
And he's right. He's obviously been at the pinnacle.
He refereed the UCL final match.
Yeah, I mean, for a few years, you could probably say Skomina was one of the top 2 or 3 refs in Europe, full stop.
Yeah.
And he's in a great position to be able to call it out. And it's great to hear him call it out because I think that's why it's a good decision to be bringing in someone, from outside to be having that sort of discussion because he's not their mate.
Yeah, no, he's not Lajic, who's the head of the referees. He's just there to comment on the refereeing, and he's being fully honest, which he needs to be.
Yeah, and he's in the position because he's not got that personal connection,
and nobody can tell him a word. No fan can say, yeah, no, he's wrong.
Yeah, no one's gonna say you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, this guy has literally been at the pinnacle of world football, and then you have our referees who can't even referee a group stage match of the Champions League.
Exactly. Well,
So
the other four this weekend, we'll let them. But
yeah,
Norwich,
no, so the other four are probably gonna mess up sooner rather than later, knowing our league, obviously. But I'm embarrassed to be watching a match and just for it to take 7 minutes for something that happened right in front of the referee to be sorted out.
Yeah,
and the whole goal.
Yeah, I think the other thing I will just say this about VR because this is just a general comment about it. Every time you see it go on, they're just in a cupboard. It's not some sort of like tech truck or anything like that, which looks like it should be, actually reviewing a top flight game. They look like they're under someone's stairs,
and they are.
They're in Harry Potter's bedroom. That's where you're trying to run VAR from. And you also see it on, in the Euros. They'll be in full, like UEFA kit. And I was watching it this weekend. There's just one guy just in a t-shirt.
Yeah,
like, mate, I'm dressed more formally than you. I ain't getting paid to do this. I ain't getting paid to do VAR. At least look the part. At least look like you're
at least dress for the occasion. Yeah, dress for the occasion, please.
Yeah, let's VAR in suits.
But yeah, let's also comment about. I already mentioned that he's absolutely going off in the press conference right after for the penalty, which stupid comparison. Completely right about the goal. We obviously agree with that, but to go after Hajduk and Dinamo saying that the refs are for them, which no, the referees are just shit in general, and even the president of Slaven Belupo saying I think the exact same thing. Mate, you signed the what was it that the like 6-7 clubs signed during the VAR League situation that they support our referees. Like, you approve of the situation.
Yeah.
So you didn't want any change. I think only Hajduk and Istra wanted changes after the whole thing.
That's about right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Istra was the other club that called out the highness and they wanted changes. No changes were obviously. I mean, some changes were made. Obviously, got foreign referees to referee big matches, which I think it's a positive. And obviously getting a French referee at the head of as the head commissioner of the referee. So some changes have been made, but our referees are gonna take a long time to actually.
Yeah, they've got to come up to standard.
Yeah, to actually become good.
Yes, but they get a chance this weekend.
Let's see. Hopefully, no matches. Hopefully, no matches have any controversy, but I doubt it.
But I doubt it. Again, this way I do the links is that's a link into this weekend. So we open HNL Friday this week is Stevenage Slaven Belupo. Relegation 6-pointer.
Already.
Well, it could be Stevenage, it could be on 6 points.
Yeah.
Istra Goritza on Saturday, and then everything again is on the Sunday because Europa/Conference League.
Yeah.
Lokomotiva Hajduk.
Osijek Dinamo.
Osijek Dinamo and Varecin Rijeka both kick off at the same time.
Yeah.
Couple of good games in there.
Yeah, I mean, Sunday is filled with good games.
Yeah, I think after sort of what we've said, Osijek Dinamo is a game I think something to look forward to. It'd be interesting to see if Osijek can execute better because there were a silly error and the width of a post a couple of times from beating Stevenage. So we know they've got goals in them. We know it's probably going to be, I assume it'll be Mierez in goals. I assume Chapman can't play in that game. So you're going to have that as a positive at the minute, from a confidence perspective at least. And we'll see how that one that one goes.
Yeah, and obviously tomorrow, when you're watching this or listening to this today, Thursday, you obviously have the games in the Conference League and the Europa League of Hajduk, Osijek, and Rijeka. The first game tomorrow will be Ružomberok Hajduk at 6:30 Central European time. For those that aren't on my timeline,
that aren't me.
Yeah. Rijeka Augsburg and Osijek Gira, however you pronounce it, start both at 8.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, this time of year, there's just a lot of games to be paying attention to, and it's quite ridiculous, really, how much people are expected to try and pay attention to. Because I think Rijeka obviously kick off same time as Partizan and a quarter of an hour before Celje as well, and that's 3 games I would all like to watch.
Do you have 3 screens? That's the question.
I do, but I don't have 6 eyes, which is the key issue in that. Because I sort of want to watch Partizan from a purely masochistic perspective because I just want to see how many Lugano put past them. And if it's anything like as bad as they were against Keith, because holy moly, they were not.
They were no. That's an understatement.
Yeah.
But hopefully every single one of our teams beats their opponents and gets in, slowly sets their eyes onto the playoff.
Yeah, for at least hopefully for Rijeka, it's Europa League playoff rather than Conference League playoff.
Yeah.
Although you would hope whichever they end up in, it's probably going to be the same result.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
But anything else to add?
No, I think by the looks of it, we need to let you get curled up in bed.
Well, yeah, I'm yawning a little bit because so the last few days, I've been woken up very early because my neighbors just below me are doing some construction for the last 2 years, and every now and then they just wake me up, and me, who's not really having a good sleep schedule, it's not helping.
Yeah.
So I watched Deadpool yesterday, so good movie. If I can add that.
Yeah, I mean, I will go to it, except I can't really go to the cinema without children at the moment, so I don't think I can really take them to that.
You can take Doc Stanovich.
I can take the dog, yeah. I think the best chance I have of watching anything with Ryan Reynolds is if I take a trip to watch Wrexham. Let's be honest, they're about an hour and a half away from here, so
yeah. So Mierez leaving Osijek. We spoke about the rounds. About the round, we've spoken about everything. We've covered everything.
Yeah.
Best of luck to Osijek fans. You need it.
Best of luck tomorrow first, and then also just for the general future,
and just your mental health.
Yes.
Please do not do anything that you will regret.
Yeah, you did things you regretted this spring. Let's be honest. We're not
already.
Yeah, don't go on a holiday, Jose Botto, is what we're saying.
I think the man's like right now panicking, trying to find a striker.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, it'll be up front presumably, and then we'll see. Whoever's free. They can't get Andrich anymore.
Yeah, Andrich has been taken.
Yeah.
Durmic is up still.
He
actually scored for Opatia, I think yesterday or 2 days ago. I saw that Opatia played in the friendly tournament and the final, and Durmic scored.
He's fit. He's in form. Easy now.
Just take him.
Yeah. You can't register against Shearer, though.
Yeah, for that, obviously, no. But maybe for the playoff against Omonia. Actually, is Omonia playing tomorrow? I think they are. Yeah, they are at 7, so an hour before. Yeah, so good to keep an eye out for that. But thank you for listening or watching. We'll see you guys next week. Hopefully, we have a better insight on what's to happen and a good second round behind us.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. So have a good night, have a good morning whenever you're listening to this, and enjoy your weekend.
Enjoy your football.
Enjoy your football. Bye bye.